Hi, I'm Greg Jeffers.
Migration is a kind of gamble, but also a kind of second chance. The ability to move to a different society in a different part of the world and start over again.
Most of these early migrants coming from Europe didn't have great survival skills. A lot of them were coming from cities, but even the farmers were coming from a cultivated place.
Some migrants had enough knowledge to understand the challenges that awaited them on this side of the Atlantic. Others simply did not, and instead they learned by doing.
After a tough start, the Quakers adapt and thrive. In just 3 years, 90 more ships arrive, carrying English colonists.
It was almost exclusively English settlers. They were all speaking the same language, obviously, and establishing sort of institutions and customs. And they were the ones that clearly had the most influence on the original character of America as a nation.
It will be centuries before enslaved Africans or Native Americans are recognized as citizens. But Quaker ideas of equality, freedom, and government are at the heart of our democracy.
The United States owes a heavy debt to the written document drafted to govern Pennsylvania. It speaks to the kinds of individual liberties which were incorporated into the United States Constitution.
And if you had Quaker ancestors, we owe them another debt. Quakers never used the submissive bow. Instead, they popularized the handshake, a simple symbol of equality. Today, almost 26 million Americans claim English descent.
I've been working with several groups to establish real, cooperative, and interdependent communities. I've been at this for years now and without a lot of success. People know that something is wrong and they can articulate most of it fairly well. What they can't seem to do is act. A cottage industry has sprung up on YouTube, the blogosphere, and social media of talking heads who accomplish nothing. They are in the entertainment business. Lots of hot air, no socioeconomic framework. But they seem to satisfy people's sense that they need to do something. Unfortunately, passive participation does nothing. Well, last week we crossed the Rubicon. The femsexists and of-color racists in control of half of the political class in the United States have done what was until now the unthinkable. They've weaponized the justice system and indicted a leading presidential candidate in an upcoming election, as if we needed more evidence of the vast criminal conspiracy of the 2020 election. I have no idea how this will turn out, and I have no power to influence events in this matter, and as it stands now, neither do you. But I think it is painfully clear that millions of people of good conscience and good faith are living in close proximity to people who would use the force of the government to do them harm. If you live in a city or a state where the jury pool, police, prosecutors, and the courts are a danger to you, your family, and your people, you have a responsibility, nay, an obligation, to move, and not from the frying pan and into the fire. You need to organize and move into a cooperative community with other like-minded people. There is strength in numbers and power within organization. We live in a post-Holocaust world, a post-Hiroshima and Nagasaki world, a post-Rwanda world, and we have allowed ourselves to be atomized into impotent consumers. Half of us are so impotent we can't even put a baby on the ground. 60% of us have no assets, no resources. What kind of system yields those results? This is the fruit of hyper-urbanization and the indoctrination we've suffered at the hands of the deviant and emotionally disturbed people now in control of our institutions. You must ask yourself, how did they get there? Well, it wasn't an accident. Half of American families will die out with this generation. You have a choice. You can join the soon-to-be extinct, or you can make the effort necessary to pass life, liberty, and human dignity on to the future. Well, that's it for me. I'm Greg Jeffers for the American Quaker Friends Church. Thank you.